I'm Carla Reeves, and this is Differently, a podcast where we explore the ins and outs of what becomes possible when we're willing to think, do, and show up differently to the moments of our everyday lives. There was a time when I was checking the boxes of what I thought made up a happy, successful life. You know, go to college, graduate, get married, land a good job. Except I did that, and one day woke up and finally admitted to myself that while things looked pretty good on the outside, inside I was empty. I realized I had become a master at checking off those to-dos, making everything look good on the outside, getting others to like me, taking really good care of everybody else. But it all caught up. I knew there was more to life. I knew there had to be a different way. I didn't have a clue how to get there. But I made it my mission to figure it out. Up until this point, I was going about life from the outside in, operating under the illusion that if I could just get things lined up just so, the good job, the relationship, money in the bank account, then and only then, I'd feel happy and fulfilled. After a series of events I never imagined for my life, I was introduced to the idea of what if I paid more attention to what was happening on the inside? You know, my thoughts, feelings, choices, perspectives, things I'd never really paid any attention to. And what if as I changed these things, the way I experienced the outer world would change, and the two would line up to create a sense of alignment that allowed for more peace, ease, clarity, confidence in my everyday life. Well, that's exactly what I did. I flipped it all upside down, cleaning up my inner world, my thinking, the way I saw myself related to my past, the rules and ideas that I'd made my truth. You know, as a kid, I loved to rearrange my room. I still do to this day. You could say I did a rearranging of sorts in my internal world, a sorting through what I wanted to keep, what was time to get rid of, what no longer fit or matched who I was. I did all that in my mind, and as I did that, the most amazing thing began to occur. As I changed things on the inside, people, my relationships, the way my everyday looked and felt, began to look and feel different. They hadn't changed, my circumstances hadn't changed, but my experience of them began to feel far different. I've been practicing this now for over 20 years. It is a practice. And my work in the world today is to help others do the same. Make peace with the past, shift the relationship that we have with ourselves, and get equipped with tools to rearrange our thinking in a way that creates mobility in our everyday life, that takes us to a more peaceful existence on the inside, better relationships, higher engagement at work and at home, and tools to live a created life. You might wonder, what's a created life? A created life, while unique to each person, is a way of living that frees you from feeling at the mercy of your circumstances and puts you at the helm of what you can control, with mindsets and tool sets for everyday living where you're empowered to influence your experience and amplify your engagement. I find this work to be one of the most meaningful and creative adventures of my life. So there you have it. I've been practicing this in my own life for over 2 decades, and it's become my life's work to champion high achievers, people who are great at being productive, but maybe not so great at being fulfilled, like I was. My life's work is guiding them to create a way of being and living where they can be accomplished and fulfilled. Join me on this podcast as we get into the heads and hearts of everyday people who are committed to squeezing the juice out of this life experience, giving you a snapshot of how shifting the way you show up to the moments of your life can change everything, and how creativity isn't just for artists, but for this everyday adventurer seeking to maximize his or her incredible experience of life. I'll be your guide, and I'm honored to have your ear and take you on some real journeys that matter. Later this month, we'll talk to Carla, an ambitious leader who wanted more. While many areas of her life felt successful, inside she knew there was more. A need to prove her seat at the table was running her and wasn't leading to what she knew in her heart was possible. We will explore the catalyst that led her to making a big change in her life, how setting down old labels and ideas of how things had to be set her free to be more of herself while still pressing forward to the goals she had for her life. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Differently. I hope it stirred your thinking, and I invite you to take one inspired action from something that stood out to you. If you want to hear more conversations like this, hit subscribe on your favorite podcast app, and please help us spread the word by sharing this podcast with people you know. Remember, new episodes drop weekly. See you next week.